Hello friends and welcome to Lot of Tech once again. So today it will be a little bit different video on this channel where I'll be ripping off these JBL T200A earphones. Now one of the common problem with the earphones is that one or the other earpiece stops working after maybe an year and a half, and I also faced the same problem with these JBL T200A. So we'll be just tearing down these earphones apart and try to find out if something goes wrong with the wires itself or it's some problem with inside the drivers, with the drivers. Apart from that, I'll also be dipping these earphones in water and try to find out if they can survive some splashes of water. Now these earphones are not at all waterproof, but we do plug these earphones in our ears, and sometimes there are chances that sweat may enter the earpiece and damage it from inside. So let's quickly begin with the video and have a look at these earphones from inside. Before beginning with the video, let me tell you that I've used these earphones for around 1.5 years, and you can clearly see that the wires of these earphones have got cracked at many places and the copper wire inside them is easily visible. Now these are one of the mid-range earphones in the JBL T series, but they still cost around 800 rupees in India, and this is certainly not expected from a brand like JBL. So I'll start first of all by cutting one of the earpiece, and then you can very easily open the earphone from the top by sliding down that rubber cap all the way to the bottom. Once you have done that, you will come across this cap sort of a thing on which it's printed JBL, and this is very tightly attached to the frame. So you just need a scissor or a plier to actually rip that off. Now when I did it for the first time, I felt that I had actually broken that, but the construction is so nice and clean that you can put this back in place just in case you have not broken that. I had a look at these earpiece, and I could not find any kind of possible joints, or you can say possible ways to enter the earphone. But the only way to enter the earphone is to apply pressure, and as I applied pressure, the earphone breaks into different segments that have been fused together. Something good about the plastic used here is that it's not brittle. I was expecting the plastic to be cracking and the pieces to be flying apart, but nothing of that sort has happened. The kind of plastic used here is very soft, and this is kind of a very good construction because just in case your earphones fall on the floor and you put your feet on them, they are not going to crack at all. It actually took me 2 minutes to rip off all the plastic from all the sides of the speakers, and what makes this even more difficult is that on the inside there is sort of a gum through which the speakers have been concealed very well with the plastic case. Apart from that, once you enter inside, it's nothing but just a magnet and a coil. I actually damaged that brutally, so I'll show you when I rip off the another speaker in the later part of the video. Now talking about the earphone wires, as you will peel off the rubber from the outside, you will come across two insulated copper wires which are there inside, along with some fiber like material which I believe is to provide mechanical strength to the cable. And there is nothing special, but generally we feel that the earphone wires are very delicate, but actually they are not, and it was very hard for me to rip them into two pieces even after applying so much of pressure. So now comes the interesting part of the video where I'll dip these earphones in this glass of water, and then I'll begin the tear down by first of all removing the outer rubber cap, and then the plastic cap underneath that, and then finally the outer plastic ring. And after a close observation, I found that the copper wires have actually got broken from the soldering plate, and the only thing that keeps this wire in place are those plastic fibers that I talked about in the earlier part of the video. The primary reason for the earphones not working are just because of the rotation of wires. Just because there is a rounded cable, so the wire keeps on rotating outside and inside the earpiece, and this knot that you are looking at, it just prevents the stretching of wires. It does not prevent the revolving of wires. I hope JBL can easily fix this problem by just applying a little bit of glue on the inside just to prevent that revolving of wires. But that's how these earphones are made, and I hope you got the answer why one of the earpiece stops working. The teardown is still not complete, and it took me another 1 minute to actually break the plastic from all the sides of the speakers. Once the speakers are out, you can actually split that into two pieces, and between that is the coil that actually responsible for producing sound. The coil is resting on a sort of a diaphragm which I believe is made out of a very light plastic, or you can say aluminium kind of a thing, which is very crispy. You can actually hear that sound. So moving ahead, the weakest part of the earphones is actually the microphone, and you don't need any kind of tools to split that into two pieces. You can just use your fingernails and easily rip that off. And on the inside, you will find that switch which is responsible for ending and receiving calls and controlling the music player application, and a little bit of electronic components. So this completes the teardown of JBL T200A, and I hope you got the answer why one of the earpiece stops working and what kind of earphones you should go for. And my answer is that you should go for the rounded cable earphones. Always go for the flat ones because they will provide you more durability and more value for money. So don't forget to give a like to the video, subscribe to the channel and share this with your friends. I hope you had really find this helpful. Thank you so much for watching Lot of Tech and see you in the next one.